Welcome to Love and Lordship Live, and thanks again for joining us. I'm Greg Williams, your host, and thank you for your prayers and encouragement. As last week we were off because I spent it with my lovely wife, actually in Mexico. Got to travel there, and it was wonderful. We were celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary, and it was a wonderful time. So I appreciate that time. We took the time, Sabbath and the rest. It was wonderful. But we're back again with Live, and this week we're going to start a two-part series about best decisions that I've made as a husband and a father. And so you can get all of these articles, podcast, audio, the videos at www.loveandlordship.com. And so check those out there. You can get those, this one as well when we load it up. Now, sorry for those who chimed in yesterday and we had sound problems and we just had a check. And we're still having those problems, but we've changed that up, so hopefully you're getting through. We got a message that we were. And again, send those messages or comments or questions to me, and I appreciate that. We love to connect with you and engage with you. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. The best decisions that I've made, and hopefully still make, as a husband and a father. And I start this, as always, with Scripture. The Scriptures that I'm using today are Malachi 4:6. The first part of Malachi 4:6, which says, "And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers." And then Ephesians 6:4 says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger or to resentment or anything of that nature, but train them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord." As I said, over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to share some of the decisions the Lord led me to make as a husband and father. You'll see both of those, predominantly decisions for my family. I pray they will encourage and or challenge you, and either way, they will bless you in your walk with Him, your marriage, parenting, and family. Each of these decisions flowed from the priorities that the Lord has revealed in my life for placing my marriage and family above myself and above everything else except the Lord Himself. With this in mind, here's the first decision that I made and make that I hope will encourage you as parents to strive to train your children up in the Lord. Number one, loving Christ as Lord and pointing my children, my wife, and my family to their Heavenly Father. Now, this is not just claiming His free gift of salvation and showing up at church from time to time or on a regular basis. While that's good and important, it's so much more than that. This is making Him, Christ, the first priority and thought in every choice. Most all of us know Jeremiah 29:11. If you don't, when I start quoting it, you're going to go, "Oh yeah, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and give you a hope or a future or an expected end," right? Bring it on, God. Love that verse, right? But do you know verses 12 and 13? It speaks to making these kind of decisions. And they will pray to me, and I will listen and answer them, and they will seek me and find me when they seek me with all their heart. And then Matthew 6:33 in the New Covenant, New Testament, the Gospel says it this way: "Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and He'll take care of all the things you need." Okay? I've made those decisions in my life and spending time in His Word and prayer every day over the last 34 plus years. That's made the difference. That's why I can tell you these are the best decisions that I've made, and hope they encourage you. He is the source, and if you will avail yourself of Him, He must be first, remember. That's why He said in Luke 14:25 through 35, I've got to be first. You got to do it wholeheartedly, and if you don't die to yourself and take up your cross and follow me, you can't be my disciple. He can say that, first of all, because He knows it's best for us. He's not doing it for His own sake. He's doing it for ours. That's why choosing Him first was the first greatest decision in my life. But as I've done that and prioritized Him as such, my children have a much greater chance of knowing Him. And I can say I am blessed that they know Him and follow after Him. Now, continuing with decisions that help shape not only who I am as a father, but who my children have become and are becoming in the Lord. Here's the second best decision that I've made. My children know that they are third, and they're blessed for it. Ephesians 5:25 through 29 says this about husbands to their wives. love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave his life up for her. I would do that for my children, but God's word doesn't tell me to do that for anybody else. Except for Christ, die to yourself for him and give your life up for your wife. Now, in doing so, I am more better equipped to do that for others. And there's other scriptures we talked about with that in humility and grace and love. But my children know that Christ is first in my life. My marriage, my wife, and their mom are the second priority in my life. They have benefited greatly from seeing this lived out. Not always perfectly, even when they were left out from time to time. Not kicked out, okay, but left out. Amy and I would step aside for a date night or for weekends to get away and have that time with the Lord and with each other. And my children learn to understand that kind of love and to flourish in it. You see, it's not always perfect, but we strive for it. Okay? I know because I've heard them share this openly with their friends and others who were coming from houses and relationships of chaos. This is in line with God's covenant order and his priorities of relationships, and he blesses us when we are obedient. He not only blesses us, he blesses our children. Remember, this is about having a heart to walk in his order. As there will be times that you'll miss it, stumble, and there will be times in seasons where you need to place children and other things above your marriage and your spouse for the moment, for the season. But don't get caught up in that. Return to the heart of God and the priorities as he's laid them out in his word. Be sure to keep your heart and make decisions that show your walk with the Lord. Then your marriage and your spouse take priority. Your children will be blessed. Now again, notice as we walk through these decisions how they are aligned with God's word, his covenant order. That's what we've been talking about in our previous Love and Worship Live over the last several months. And we outline it here in The Authority of Love, our book. So you can grab that online. The third best decision that I've made as a dad and as a husband, limiting time away from home. Colossians 3:18 through 21 just kind of gives the shortened version of Ephesians 5:21 through Ephesians 6:4. And it basically says, husbands, love your wives. Wives, love respect your husbands. Children, obey your parents. And fathers, don't provoke your children to anger. Okay? You know what? When I'm not there, all those things tend to happen. When I am home, when I am there, very few times do we experience that. And have we ever experienced that? So number 3 was limiting my time away from home. And in our book, I share a couple of opportunities for me to be a national spokesperson. I was asked a couple of times to do that with a growing organization. Each time my decision was prompted by my love, my commitment for my Lord, seeking him first, for my wife, my marriage, and my family above all else. It was not always easy, but the Lord has blessed and continues to bless those decisions. Others may make or may have made a different decision. And that's okay, but let me say this. While I've never had anyone sit in my office or meet with me and complain about the choice to spend time with their loved ones, those they loved, I've had numerous successful people grieve and weep over time spent in the office, on the road, i.e. away from their family, and wishing they had chosen differently. Now's the time, today's the day, to begin to choose differently. As we continue, I pray that you will see the Lord's hand guiding these decisions according to his word. And we find in Proverbs 3:5-6, he says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, but in every single decision. That's my translation, but it says, in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will straighten out your path. So my fourth decision, based on that, was I sought him, and I had to say no to some other great opportunities. Much like limiting my time away from home, part of that decision was this fourth one, saying no to other great opportunities. Throughout the years, I was given numerous other opportunities to play and coach basketball at nearly every level. I turned down coaching positions with several high schools and universities, as well as coaching and playing opportunities overseas and here in the U.S. because it wasn't best for my family and my children. When my oldest son turned 7, I began, after having coached at high school, college, and professionally, I began coaching with him in a church league. Can you imagine what that was like? I could tell you another story, but time doesn't allow. But anyway, I went to coaching my 7-year-old son in a church league and continued to do so with him and his brother all the way through their elementary, middle school, and high school teams. 2 years prior to me starting with my oldest son, I had been on a collegiate coaching staff that included the NAIA National Coach of the Year, my college coach, Coach Don Lane, and the Player of the Year, Collier Mills. Doors were opened, but the priorities remained the same for me. As I have sought and acknowledged the Lord in every decision in all my ways, He has been and continues to be faithful, for He can do no other. I pray that you will walk with Him and find the same as He leads you in every part of your life. Turn and run to Him. Seek, look to, and acknowledge Him every moment of every day. I'm not exaggerating. That's how it works best. And He will see you through. Now, He gives you grace when you don't do that, but that's what He desires, and that's what He really wants to bless. And you can't do it without Him. I got some food for thought and 3 action items as we close today's Love and Lordship Live. Remember, by the way, all the scriptures are linked, and you can find the other articles and podcasts and videos at www.loveandlordship.com. Now, food for thought on today's message. Remember, it's never too late to start. And remember that His Word says He will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children and the hearts of the children to their fathers. It will come to pass in all those who seek Him because He is faithful. And it begins, fathers, with us. He said He'll turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. Set the example. 3 action items. Read the scriptures in this article. I hope you're not getting tired of that because it's really good stuff. Not my stuff, but the scriptures, okay? Pray and ask the Holy Spirit to show you how He will turn your heart to and for your children. Number 2, then make a list of ways that you can turn your heart to your children as the Lord has shown you. And number 3, pray for your children to turn their hearts fully to Christ, and in so doing, turn to you as godly parents. Next week, we're going to get part 2 of the best decisions I've ever made. So if you like them, share them and invite others to join us. Contact me at loveandlordship@gmail.com, loveandlordship, all spelled out, @gmail.com, or text me, 859-229-6504, and give me your questions, your comments, or anything else you'd like to share. Keep it clean, okay? You can also just message me through Facebook privately. That'd be great. Let us know what you're thinking and how we can help you. Again, I love to get the questions and comments and love to engage with you. That's how we grow in fellowship and help build the church and the body of Christ, by the way. Now, it is mid-year. I do a little bit more at the end of the year and mid-year. So here in the mid-year, the spring fundraising, we're asking you not only to pray for us, but to pray specifically. Is God leading you to see that He's working in this ministry? Maybe in your life, maybe in someone you know, or simply because you know that it is of Him. And if so, is He leading you to support this ministry? If so, will you follow through on that? Love to have you partner with us. And if not, keep praying until He shows you what to support faithfully. I want you to receive that blessing because He said He will, and I can tell you He does. Love and Lordship is here to help you live joyfully and have healthy and fulfilling relationships in the love and Lordship of Jesus Christ. We don't charge for the teaching, the conferences, retreats. I simply tell them, if they ask, this is what it would cost, and if they come through, fine. Not, the Lord always provides. He's good. If you need a place to turn, you can turn to Love and Lordship. Contact us. It's a safe place. Also, if your church or group would like to partner with us and have us come and do an Authority of Love or Love and Lordship conference or retreat or a series, if you're here locally in the Lexington or Central Kentucky area, contact me again. We'd love to set that up. Got several churches we're already working with to do that for the summer and the fall. So thank you for that. We desire to make disciples who make disciples in His love and Lordship in every home and every church. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your prayers. Thanks always to the Lord. Make it a great day, and God bless in Christ.